What's going on, Dragon Ball fans? Welcome back to another awesome edition of Talk Dragon Ball Super. I am joined here by Super Saiyan Paul. Those of you out there watching on his channel, I am Unreal ENT Gaming, and today we're going to be discussing the entirety of Dragon Ball Super leading up thus far to the Universal God Destruction Tournament and our overall thoughts on what's going on right now. Now, I'm not entirely sure, depending on when you guys are watching this video, this might be before Chapter 9, after Chapter 9, whatever the case may be. Myself and Paul have our own opinions as to what's going on in Dragon Ball Super. Now, today we're going to be discussing our thoughts on the fusion being banned, Oob being mentioned, Gohan being brought into the tournament, if that's a confirmation or not, and the entirety as to where this is going to lead up to. So, Paul, I want to get your thoughts on everything that's been going on in Dragon Ball Super right now. Now, first things first, I want to touch up on one thing. The overall aspect of them rushing things. Now, everything feels rushed as of right now. People are kind of complaining given the fact that we are already into the Universal God Destruction Tournament after coming off of the Frieza fight. And I want to know from you, do you feel as if the show is being rushed? That's my first question. Do you feel as if the show is being rushed heavily into getting all the fights out of the way and rushing into the Universal God Destruction Tournament? Or do you think that this is a good, steady pace as opposed to how we've seen previous with Dragon Ball Z, where everything was nice and marinated, and it took quite a while until we got to, the climax of the show? So what are your thoughts on the pacing of Dragon Ball Super thus far as of right now?
Alright, so for the pacing part, I'm actually kind of happy that the first two sagas were rushed because we already had it in movie form.
Okay.
Plus, they didn't really have that much content that they could really stretch out without adding things that were completely new. Like we saw smaller details with the Resurrection F saga, but for the most part, it was mainly the same thing straight out of the movies, which is not that bad, but I was happy that they rushed through that. Now, for the Champa saga and everything else new, I hope it takes a lot longer. But the thing is, with Dragon Ball Z, they didn't really do everything as straightforward as it's been so far.
There was a lot of filler too, you know?
A lot of filler and a lot of twists and turns and a lot of things that were brought up, like, why did they buff Gohan in the Buu saga for no reason when he wasn't even going to be the one that kills Kid Buu? There's a lot of things, rather than in this where someone turns Super Saiyan God, takes on Beerus, that's the end of the saga, then Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, these two go, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, take out Frieza, done. It's not like anybody else is getting any buffs here, so...
I mean, going back to what you just said about the Super Saiyan God form, now, again, guys, depending on when you're watching this video, what are your thoughts on them introducing this really cool-looking form? I mean, I disagree with it because it looks so plain, but they introduced Super Saiyan God, and following the fight with Beerus, it was never showcased again. Now, do you have any complaints about that? Because up until, thus far, I do have, I love Dragon Ball Super, man. I'm loving it thus far. There are little tiny things that do bother me, and more as I watch the show, I'm kind of leaning more towards the manga in a way, because in the manga, there's just a little bit more detail, whereas the show is just alright, boom, 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 here you go, we're here and there. Like, for example, when they first introduced Champa, when he first came to Beerus' planet, there was so much more that happened before that. For example, when Goku and Vegeta were fighting, Vegeta turned into a Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, and that kind of pissed off Goku. He's like, wait, what the hell? You're not supposed to do that, it's against the rules. And then he did it, and then Whis came along, he's like, no, you guys just, broke my #1 rule, don't transform, here are the suits. But instead in the show, we just got the suits. We didn't get the actual little snippet of them fighting as gods for just a little bit, and then Whis punishing them and stuff. But I do agree, they kind of rushed through the Battle of Gods arc and the Resurrection F arc within Dragon Ball Super. So you're agreeing with the pacing thus far, because as you just said, in Dragon Ball Z, they kind of marinated all that because there was so much filler in between. For example, dude, how long did it take for us to get to the actual Cell games once Cell announced it? You remember that? He announced it, he was in 10 days, and then 25 episodes later, here we are. Whereas opposed to now, the Universal God Destruction Tournament is announced, and here we are 2 days, 4 days prior to the actual tournament. So you're agreeing with the pacing. All right, so...
Wait, going back to what you said about the Super Saiyan God thing looking plain, I think the way they could have cured it, because I know Dragon Ball Super is still a great show, it's just that we want it to be perfect and stuff. With Goku, I think Goku should have kept his red hair, and when he went Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan, he should have just went the hair should have been red, and Vegeta should have been blue. It shouldn't have been looking so similar to Kaioken that it's just completely useless now because nobody goes back to that form.
That's very interesting. You're saying one go blue and one go red and just keep it that way?
Yeah, it should have stayed. He should have stayed red.
That's okay. I
with
see,
Super Saiyan hair.
Okay, I see where you're coming from in terms of color differentiation. I can't even say the word differentiation. I get what you're saying. Distinguishing characters here. My little thing is I disagree with that because I wish that Vegeta achieve the same level of power as Goku did. For example, like I wanted to see Goku become red and then blue. I wanted to see Vegeta become red and then blue. Like, he just skipped that. Like
he
again,
Super Saiyan 3.
Yeah, all right, dude. He skipped Super Saiyan 3. He skipped Super Saiyan God. He didn't even technically go Super Saiyan 4 in GT. Like he had to use blood waves, whatever. But so you're saying that you wish that they showcased the red form just a little bit more, right?
I wish Goku kept it, and I wish he had the Super Saiyan hair with it because it looked too similar.
So keep the red form with the Super Saiyan hair, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well,
that makes more sense. Super Saiyan God.
That would be pretty. I'm not gonna lie, that'd be pretty rad looking. Like I completely see where you're coming from here. All right, so that's your little snippet. All right, now that everything is over and done, we must have talked about the Battle of Gods Resurrection arc like for like millions of times now. Now moving away from that, we're gonna go into the Champa arc. All right, so man, this irritates me a lot. All right, so they mentioned Oob, right? So Oob is a newborn, yada yada. This obviously takes place before the World Tournament. And we do know he's a newborn. Now, I want to ask you a personal question. Do you think that somewhere along the lines, before the actual ending of the series, are they going to showcase Oob like within Dragon Ball Super? I mean, they don't have to show him fighting or nothing. They can show him in the village working hard, you know, like doing something along the lines that he hears about this tournament. He's like, oh, I want to be in it. Because remember, like prior in Dragon Ball Z, when Goku first entered the tournament, all he kept talking about was, oh, there's a guy that's really strong. And everybody's like, what the hell are you talking about? And then finally, when Oob came along, he was pretty much telling himself, he's like, oh, I have to do this for my mom and for my village and stuff. So do you think they're going to show that just a little bit, like Oob working out, like, or just doing things within his village to help his people? Or do you think down the road it's just going to be nope, at the very end it's just going to appear and that's it?
You see, that's the thing that people are debating about. People are saying that, oh, they just overwritten the canon and stuff like that. I honestly think it's going to end the same way Dragon Ball Z did.
Really?
They might show us, because the reason why I say this is because they're counting all of the continuity from Dragon Ball Z. Ginyu returned. On top of that, they keep showing flashbacks to Dragon Ball Z, and like every other, like what, 5 episodes, you see a flashback to Dragon Ball Z. They connected all that, so they're taking that into consideration, and the fact that they're doing that, I think it's going to end off right where the tournament left off. They're not going to show nothing after that, because right after that is Oob. And this brings it to the fact that in Dragon Ball GT, people were saying that's uncanon, but this still kind of lines up with that, even though the power levels are scaled, because Whis tells him to raise his base form power level, and in Dragon Ball GT, his base form is Super Saiyan 3, and that kind of makes sense.
Man, I don't want that to happen. I mean, like I said, guys, for those of you out there watching, me and Paul have our opinions, so drop your opinions down below. If you guys agree with Paul, comment. If you guys agree with me in terms of not having that ending, comment down below. I don't agree with that ending because, yeah, alright, I get it. You know, Whis is like, alright, master your base form first before doing anything else. That's perfectly natural. I mean, whatever. But it just kind of takes away, like, a lot because because again, the ending of Dragon Ball Z, Goku clearly told everyone, he's like, man, this kid is going to be the strongest kid I ever fought. This is going to be like my greatest challenge and stuff. But what about the gods? Like, all right, if they're going to keep that ending, fine. But I hope they they actually retouch it, and perhaps maybe Goku enters this tournament and he's like, all right, this kid's not going to be the strongest I fought for obvious reasons here. We have fucking multiple universes. But maybe this kid has potential to be one of his most, you know, worthy adversaries down the line. And perhaps instead of taking him to, you know, Korin's Tower or Kami's Lookout to train, perhaps maybe towards the end, Goku's like, listen, kid, I have the powers to, you know, change your life, and I have a lot of, you know, gifts and abilities I can teach you. How about you come with me, and we can take you back to Beerus's planet, and we can train there. Like, I think that would make just a little bit more sense. It would decanonize GT in a way, but it'll also make more sense, because instead of going to the lookout and fucking shit up there, I think it'll make more sense since Goku and Vegeta have been doing most of the training at Beerus's planet. Why not, you know, Goku tell Oob, hey, listen, why don't you come with us to Beerus's planet if Whis, you know, accepts you there or whatever, and we can train you. And that I would be more satisfied with that, because that brings me closure to the point where it doesn't lead into Goku saying, oh, Oob's my most, you know, worthy opponent. This kid is the reincarnated Kid Buu. Because as of right now, come on, man, let's be realistic. Kid Buu, if he were to come back, he'd be fucking turned into Moose.
That's the thing, though. The thing that they didn't really explain is how is his power going to scale. Maybe at birth he's the power of Kid Buu, and maybe he has the ability to power up super fast as he ages. You don't know that. Like, they didn't explain that at all.
About Oob, man, like he's such a mystery. Like, I don't know. For me personally, I don't have a problem with him. I just have a problem with the dialogue, because the dialogue, again, it differs in the manga, but the dialogue is like, all right, you know, let's just do this, and it leads into GT. For me, I would love for that wall to be broken. Like, again, guys, I don't have nothing against.
I want the wall to be broken too, but another thing that somebody, like a theory, another theory that I read, and this kind of makes sense. Maybe Goku and Vegeta's memories, or everybody's memories got erased from the gods. That's the only way they would have forgotten about Super Saiyan God, because for some reason Whis and Beerus never show up. Why aren't they there at the tournament? Why aren't they interacting with them at the end of Dragon Ball Z or nothing like that?
Then again, Akira never had that inspiration to even conjure up. Remember, he wanted to stop so many times, but
but like, what if like something happens where it's like, maybe Beerus dies. Maybe they erase the memories from them because gods aren't supposed to be interacting with people like this. You don't know.
You're right, but then again, we don't know if they have that ability to alter memory. We do know about
Dragon Ball Wish.
Stuff.
Maybe somebody wished it away.
Well, that's true, but
they did it for Majin Buu.
Again, theory.
It's the only way it makes sense. Yes, it's theory. It's the only way it would line up with GT, because they didn't use Super Saiyan God at all, and that's the thing that everybody thought completely uncanon GT, because it wasn't used at all, and that was a new form, and supposedly one of the strongest ones. But what if they just completely erased the gods from their memory?
I doubt they're gonna erase, but like what I really hope that I don't know, like the fanboy in me, and I don't care. I'm a fanboy at heart, man. Like I really wish that wall was just broken. Like, although it'll affect the games and it'll affect the canon universe, the non-canon universe, all of Dragon Ball would be affected by this if by some chance, Dragon Ball Super were to exceed past that, World Martial Arts Tournament saga where, Goku met Oob and stuff. Although we all want to see that, and, especially, like, I don't know, like, something tells me, like, all right, if they were to stop there, in a very small way, right? GT left it open for so much more to happen. You had two of the youngest of the bloodlines of Goku and Vegeta. You had Goku Jr., Vegeta Jr. If by some chance down the road, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, whatever, when we're old men, if they decide to do another Dragon Ball series, they can easily just pick it up from right there to have Goku and Vegeta Jr. Carry on the legacy. Although, is it possible? I mean, who are we to say it's not? But it just bothers me a little bit that Super is just, well, thus far at least from what we know, everything is taking place before Oob comes along, man.
That's the thing, though. Like you said it already. Like every other game, like how many games in the past decade have followed the GT timeline? If you overwrite that, you fucked up every game.
Do you really believe that?
Even Dragon Ball Xenoverse, it's like they carried the continuity. Like even if it's not canon, it still carried that storyline. Now if you have Super overlapping that, how are you ever going to combine a GT storyline into it anymore? It doesn't work.
Do you necessarily have to?
Everybody asks for GT characters, no matter how much they hate.
Well, I mean, because they're awesome. I mean, but then again,
Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta, like the strongest character ever.
Well, debatable. But like what I really wish here, and I really doubt this will happen. Again, guys, it's all speculation. I really doubt this. But the only way to like allow this to all make sense here to everybody is if Whis were to be like, oh, wait a minute, what's this? I just spotted a universe where you guys are completely covered in fur. And then Goku and Vegeta are like, what? And then they look and they're like, oh, yes, in this universe, you guys are battling this, you guys are doing that, and you guys are doing this. Oh, look, and it's a new form, and yeah. So, like, it'll really be cool if, in a way, Whis just kind of, like, tells them, like, oh, here, look, here's the GT universe, and this is what you guys do here. So, because, like, again, man, like it will not happen. I know it will not happen.
That's another thing. Like with the GT universe, the way Super is going, it really does build up Vegeta's character, especially to line up with the GT universe.
Yo, he's humbled himself a lot.
He's humbled in Super, and he's just humble in GT. On top of that, when they fused into Gogeta, he was down with the fusion. Meaning, in Dragon Ball Super, eventually it's been hinting.
That took a lot for him to fucking do. Remember that? He was like, I don't want to do it.
Well, I know. He was like, hold on. You know as well as I, if we rush, you will die.
I retract that. He was the one that told Goku to fuse.
Exactly. So it's like in Dragon Ball Super, they're warming up to the idea. I think Vegeta's
you're right. But man, again, guys, comment down below on your opinions on this, because we're kind of diving into the GT notion. But going back to Super now, man, like I again, there's so many possibilities here. Akira Toriyama told, informers and magazines out there back in July and August that he had a bunch of characters lined up. He has a whole bunch of designs and stuff. He has that passion back. Like I'm really happy about that. Like the dude finally has the passion to do this again. But the question here is like, how are they gonna end it off? Like in a way, bro, I don't want them to, but if by some chance they are, sadly enough, it's gonna be the same way we saw it in Dragon Ball Z, if not just a little altered.
You remember how we were talking about, like, Bra being born?
Yeah.
She was in the newest episode.
Again, man, it's just
still following GT, because she wasn't even in Z.
No, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
That's so weird. Everything in this episode just really curved it into that track. I was like, wow.
No, you're absolutely right. But, like, what boggles my mind here is the fact that they have multiple universes, and there's so much content that you can build off of like each universe. Like it's just like Akira did a great job as to, you know, building all of this up, because all right, like if there was another, like for example, if there was like 2 more other universes, that would have been like, okay, you would have had at least 150 to 200 episodes. That's it. But you have 12 fucking universes here, man. Can you imagine if like Akira really put his heart into it and really put his mind into it and wanted to tell like that final story? There could have been hundreds and hundreds of episodes that would have built up to that. You know, like there's so much ideas to build off of here. But again, I don't think this is going to exceed probably 200 episodes. I don't know how you feel about that.
I hope it makes 200 episodes, because
what do you think?
With all those universes, there's so much content. But then again, how much more can people take? How many more transformations can we go through? How many more character designs can look badass without getting old?
Well, I mean, right now they're sticking to Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, which is good, because they're not upgrading. I hope not, because
because it was way too fast.
It's way too fucking early, man. So they're sticking with that. So good job. But if I really doubt this, because Vegeta told Goku in episode 30, hey man, we're reaching our limits, like what do we do? So I hope that, you know, they get maxed out and that's it. Like, because if they were to have another fucking transformation, which I hope to God they don't, a lot of people would love that. But I mean, as cool as that is, Jesus Christ, how many transformations do we have here? We have Kaioken, Super Saiyan 1, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. That's 6 already. We have, not even counting the fusions.
I don't even want them to transform. I want everybody else to transform besides Goku and Vegeta at this point. I don't even want to see Vegeta till like episode 100. It's too fast for that.
That's if they decide to do that. I mean,
I think everything's hinting around Vegeta. It's like...
No, there's a lot of foreshadowing. There's a lot of foreshadowing with them working together, with Whis wanting to test them, with Beerus wanting to fight them seriously.
The cure for the Potara earrings, the Dragon Ball
there's a lot of things that are like, there's a lot of foreshadowing, which is good. But I doubt we're gonna see any of the fanboy stuff and headcanon stuff that we want to see personally as fans, because as much as we want to see it, it all boils down to Funimation and Toei and all these people that are running, you know, the curtains behind the show. Because you know, as much as we do want to see Vegito down the road, or whoever else we want to see, it's hard, because like I put my faith in Akira's writing, because after this arc is done with, I doubt this is going to be like the last one. There's got to be like at least 1 or 2 more after that.
That's another thing. After this arc is over, they're moving at such a fast pace. Like within the next month, they're catching up to the manga.
Yeah,
is there going to be a filler arc?
They're already at the manga, like freaking like right now. Like
the titles of the episodes, they're passing what's out in the manga. So is there going to be a filler arc after this one? That's what I'm scared about. I love the show.
What about Dragon Ball Super doing what The Walking Dead does? Have like a year, you know, long run. Take a break for a little bit, you know, like a mid-season finale kind of thing, and then picking it back up like a couple months after. Like, do you think a concept like that will work?
Some animes do that, and some don't. I know Naruto.
Which animes do that?
Like, Attack on Titan did that.
Okay.
That's what they did. But if you compare it to like something like Naruto, that's different. And Toei, okay, we got One Piece. One Piece is made by Toei as well, and I don't think they ever do that. I think they just create a bunch of filler.
Okay.
Because it's Toei, they want money. They're gonna use the branch of the name, so I think it's gonna be filler. I think it's gonna be straight up filler for like a 6-month period.
So just straight up filler.
Because it's just moving way too fast. They're gonna make Akira have to like jump in the timeline somewhere.
But they've been cutting filler a lot, if you think about it. They haven't really been included.
Because they've rushed right through this shit. I don't know why. Maybe it's because filler is easier to animate, less fighting scenes. I don't know.
That's true. But what about, like, I mean, because there's so much that you can cover up here, like, on so many bases. But, like, what about, like, alright, so you're saying that the ending is going to be the same. I don't know, man. It's just
still
like...
fits it perfectly, because he didn't mention Oob by name, so Vegeta doesn't know who the hell he is. He doesn't even know the kid is brown, living in some village.
But he has heard of him. Like, that's the point. Like,
he's heard of him, but Goku didn't mention him at all. He was just but, like, a strong fighter.
Yeah, but Vegeta still knows of the reincarnated kid. He never knew that.
But it's like, well, it's been like, what, 10 years from point A to point B? So he was like, he probably forgot. He was like,
oh man, but Vegeta? Nah, man, Vegeta don't forget shit. Are you kidding me? He still holds on to the very first fight that they had.
Yeah, but he's like, okay, there's a fighter here. I don't know. Out of all the battles I've had, what fighter are you talking about?
If Goku's telling him, like, oh, this kid's going to be a tough challenge and stuff.
Well, he didn't mention a kid or nothing. He was just a fighter.
He's saying... Remember, he's saying reincarnation, the reincarnated kid blew into a human form. I'm pretty sure Vegeta's like, okay. But in Z, he never knew a goddamn thing. He was like, what the hell are you talking about? Who is he? Where is he? What is this reincarnated crap you're talking about? And Goku's like, oh, you're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. You're gonna find out. And then finally, when it came down to it, remember, Vegeta was like, that kid? Him? Are you fucking kidding me? So, like, he didn't really know of, like, he thought it was, all right. Remember, I don't know if you remember, you can go back and watch it, during the preliminaries, like, when they were getting drafted and stuff, Vegeta asked Goku, is it an alien? Is it an android or whatever? And Goku said no. So that, I'm 99.9% sure that Vegeta asked him during, like, the final episodes, was he an alien? What is he? Right? He was asking Goku, like, what race was he? But in Dragon Ball Super, he knows it's a human. That's, like, the contradiction there.
But he doesn't know what the fighter is. He doesn't know.
Obviously, he doesn't know, like,
he doesn't know who's coming. It could be like a god or something in the ring. You don't know.
You're right. He doesn't know who it is, but he does. What
so
he does know is,
like, he's just taking a guess. Like, you didn't mention it was Oob. It's been 10 years. We don't even know if this kid's alive or if he's still over there in his village training or something.
But
we don't even know he's here.
He was like, a newborn cannot compete in this tournament. So, and a newborn, like, what does he mean by, like, how old is this fucking kid? Is he?
He was a baby. He was like, we can't have a baby competing. So, since the kid's a baby, how old was he in the tournament? Like,
oh
8,
man,
10?
I honestly forgot how old he was.
I'm pretty sure it's still really hands up.
He wasn't too young, but he wasn't too old either. He was maybe like what, like let's say 10, 11, 12, maybe, give or take, maybe.
And another theory, like, you remember how you said whenever Majin Buu rests, he
hibernates.
Whenever he gets a hibernation thing, he gets a power buff. Isn't he still technically connected to Oob? Because he always said that GT was like, I always felt a connection with you, and then they fused and he became super powerful. That kind of lines up.
That's I don't know about that, man. That's just like, again, GT logic here. There's so much, like, oh god.
I don't like it. I like
which anime, right? Which anime do you think pieces all the stories together without having to go through this bullshit of, like, time skips and shit? Which anime do you believe that?
What do you mean, in Dragon Ball Z?
No, I mean, like, which other anime do you think tells a better story than how this is being told? Because, again, we're just mentioning all these things, and there's so many time gaps, and there's so many time skips, and, like, plot holes and stuff. Like, which other anime do you think does not have this stuff going on?
Naruto?
Alright, so you're saying Naruto. Alright, so Naruto pieces everything together, little by little, and there's always, I mean, there's like 1,000 episodes or whatever, but everything lines up correctly. Like, I that's what I wish, like, Dragon Ball Z were to do, like, or Dragon Ball Super.
Yeah, that's the thing with Dragon Ball Z, when you see people debating about stuff with the story and power levels, take in mind, knowing a lot of shit about Dragon Ball Z doesn't mean shit, because Akira be forgetting this shit. Like, he forgot Gohan could go Mystic.
Well, that was a while ago.
It's like, yo, it doesn't matter how much you know about Dragon Ball Z, the story isn't really supposed to be taken that seriously.
Really? You believe that?
I think it's more about the characters, the fights, and what they stand for. I don't really think the story is what really holds it together.
I think it is the continuity of the story. As important as the characters are, the only thing I think is bullshit are power levels. That's the one thing that is complete crap.
Yeah, like, when I see those people, like, throwing, like, mathematic algebra formulas in the thing, like, his power level is 9,000 by 200, and this he got a Zenkai boost for this. This makes no fucking sense, and Akira didn't even fucking think of that. I bet you they did not. Like, he didn't even give a shit. He was just like, oh, power buffer. I don't know what you're doing.
It's just, again, bro, it's so, I don't know, like, all I hope is this. I just hope that Dragon Ball Super just touches up on a lot of these plot holes. With the way they're going thus far, I mean, they introduced 5 new characters, which means later down the road, whatever game we get, we're gonna get 5 new characters, which is cool. Because I'm getting sick and tired of fucking playing as Captain Ginyu all the damn time. You get what I'm saying? So,
yeah, man.
Finally, I get to play as Winnie the Pooh.
I think that's a good thing that Xenoverse 2 doesn't come out this year either, because the longer Super goes on, the more characters we get from the next video game.
Or whatever video game comes after that. Yeah, you're right.
And that'll really, really help this new video game. Because Xenoverse was a great game.
Actually, no, wait, hold on. 6 characters, including Monaka, because you have Monaka, you have Mojana, you have
Champa, maybe Vados.
Yeah, you have a bunch. All right, so wait, hold on. I think that's 8
Mira might get a power buff. Might have
that's 8 characters.
Vegito as a fun what-if character. More what-if characters might be included.
So that we don't know yet. I mean, all that what-if shit is just based on fucking...
I mean, like, they introduced the DLC characters for the movie last year pretty fast, and now that they have all those base characters finished, because this is like the first one made, they can add more and more, so... I'm hoping for at least 20 characters.
I mean, that's what I'm really happy about, like, with Super, because, like, they've introduced a lot of characters. So, if you look at the rundown, whatever Dragon Ball game comes out next, playable characters are going to be included, that being Vados Champa, that's 2. You have Botamo, Magenta, you have Frost, Hit, and Kabe, that's 7. You have Monaka, that's 8. If you want to count, who else do we have here? I mean, technically nobody else that's new, aside from the gods and Golden Frieza and stuff, but we have 8 new characters, plus whatever characters...
They might throw in, like, Sorbet and, what was his name?
Yeah.
Tagoma and stuff like that. Side characters.
Okay, all right, yeah, I can see Sorbet and
They have Yamcha and a Cyberman in the video games. Come on, man. You
Yo,
don't think
no,
they're-
I mean, I'm sorry, I respect, well, I don't respect those characters, but fucking A, like, I'm getting sick and tired of having them as options. I mean, they couldn't even make room for, like, Baby or Gogeta in Xenoverse, but they put Yamcha and fucking the Cyberman there, it's like, oh, whatever. But, yeah, I mean, like, this is gonna go in such a weird direction. I mean, I'm happy about it, like, honestly, but you're right. They are skimming right through like I mean, they're almost caught up to the manga. The characters are getting a little bit more noticed. Like, I mean, because who would have thought Piccolo and Majin Buu would be in this? Even though Majin Buu they get disqualified, which pisses me off. I actually I would have loved to see that, man. Big ass Botambo fighting big ass Majin Buu. Like that would have been like the fight of the sumos, man. Like that.
Sumo wrestling.
And Botambo apparently is really fast. So I would love to see if Majin Buu can catch him. Or if Majin Buu absorbs him. Can you imagine that? Majin Buu absorbs him, he becomes like a giant blob yellow teddy bear monster. Like that would have been fucking hilarious. But
I really miss Majin Buu, man. Like, they need to really include him into more things. He got his ass handed to him, and then they just left him out.
nah, he's chilling with Hercule, bro. He doesn't really have much going on anymore. He's not really into that fighting shit anymore. The last person he fought was Beerus, and he got reduced to particles, and he just got blasted into the ocean. Like that's pretty hard, man.
I mean, he could have been a game changer in the Frieza thing. He could have scared the shit out of Frieza.
Man, are you kidding me? Frieza would have been like, "Oh, it's Boo." Well,
no, I mean, he was like, "My father warned me about this one. I don't know."
Yeah,
how
but he's still fucking. He's stronger than Boo. He fucking.
I know he's stronger than Boo, but remember, don't mess with Beerus or don't mess with Majin Buu.
That Beerus is different, but Majin Buu at this point, if Goku can beat him and Frieza's beating Goku, yeah, I'm pretty sure Frieza would be like, oh, "All right, well, if I can beat Goku and Goku beat you, what are you to me?" So, I mean, it would have been really cool to see, but sadly enough, I mean, Gotenks was still there. That was pretty interesting enough. But comment down below, guys, on what you guys think about Dragon Ball Super thus far. What do you guys agree with? What do you guys disagree with? And what do you guys like and hate about the show thus far? And where do you see the show later down the road, 6 months, a year from now? Do you see it ending off? Or do you see it ending off with Oob and stuff? Like, we want to hear your thoughts on that. Once again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys are fans, don't forget to subscribe. Thank you all for watching Wednesday's edition of Talk Dragon Ball Super. We hope to see you guys in the next episode. Comment down below, share the video, like the video, and we'll be seeing you guys later, guys. Take it easy. Peace.